Hello friends. Well, today I am doing a quick video from my lovely vehicle, and I thought it would be fun to use my alchemy deck. This is what it looks like. It's pretty fun. It has all the different alchemical symbols and aspects of nature, everything from the metals to the planets that are associated with those, the different zodiacal signs, all the many different minerals, and I already said metals. So I pulled some cards. This is what the lovely little book looks like. And I guess first of all, I just say that the sun, of course, is moving through Taurus, and we are well on our way through it right now. I think as I'm recording this video, it's at 24 degrees, soon to be 25 degrees. Taurus, and the moon is at the end of Sagittarius. We'll be moving into Capricorn probably by the time I have it posted. So we'll just say that the moon's in Capricorn when you watch the video. But I guess for the sake of Sagittarius, I'm hearing Sagittarius is like, no, you can't let me not have a part in it. So when the moon's in Sagittarius, we may be feeling our free spirit, kind of the fires of life. It is actually really important to talk about this moon in Sagittarius because it is having aspects with Venus, or it had aspects with Venus and Mars. So Mars being in Leo, Venus being in Aries, and both beautiful fire trines that it was in with through the last couple of days. So there may have been an igniting of our feelings, our emotions, our passions, maybe even connections between the masculine and feminine, and very I was even hearing like sizzling, like spicy, like, connections, good feeling connections coming up. So if you partook in that, that's awesome. We did have the moon in Scorpio before. That was at the lunar belting earlier this week with the full moon. So, moving from that depth into the heights of Sagittarius could be a lot of fun, as long as the traversing through the Scorpio waters was deep, transformative in graceful ways. We'll say that. I know there was a lot of release and cutting away and closing up of old pathways and tying up loose ends. But as we do all of that, it helps us rise into the heights of the fires of Sagittarius, where the archer like pulls back that bow and shoots that arrow into the sun or into the sky, and it turns into that flame of light, the fiery bow and arrow on that steed. There's a line in the mysteries in the Chaldean oracles where they talk about the fiery steed that pulls back the arrow and draws the bow and lets that arrow take off, and that relates to the Temperance card. So I always bring this back to Kabbalah. On the Tree of Life, Sagittarius is the Temperance card and is the card between the Sephirah means sphere of light, between Yesod, this is the blueprint level, this is the etheric level, the astral plane, the sphere that governs over everything coming together before it extends into manifestation in the Sephirah Malkut, which is the physical earth Sephirah. So back up to Yesod, this blueprint level. So Temperance is the card that goes from Yesod into Tiferet. Tiferet is the sphere of light that deals with the Christ consciousness state, also deals with the solar energy of light. And so Temperance connects the sun and the moon energies, the conscious and the subconscious mind. So it is that bringer of light between those two worlds. And so when it talks about the celestial steed pulling back that arrow, it's to rise up and drive up into the Christ consciousness state, releasing anything that is not allowing us to fly, really. And on the Tree of Life, before you traverse the Temperance card, you have to pass through the Death card and the Devil card. You have to let go of the material world in the Devil card and the things that drive us and chain us down that are not aligned with spirit, and the Death card, releasing all the things that of the, the dark, deep trenches of God knows what. It could be karmic, it could be emotional, it could be mental, but it's the things that are not allowing us to be that true self that we are. It could be even a whole aspect of our life. We may even feel like we restarted a new life as once we traverse the Death card. And of course, this is not like a one-time thing. We are constantly traversing these different aspects in our life. Okay, I was not planning to go into all that, but I love talking about the Tree of Life, and I love how the major arcana flow along those lines and pathways, and they make a lot of sense to me, so it just came up to share that with you. So back to the moon moving Sagittarius. Sagittarius wanted me to talk about all that. And then the moon's going to move into Capricorn, and we're going to be very focused on what our goals, our manifestations, what's valuable to us in the physical world. Are we moving in a way that is balanced and efficient for our life, but for our feelings, and how we're processing day-to-day life, work. This could even be some like body, how we treat our body throughout the day. I know that's more Virgo, but that's important too. Like as we're going to work, as we're going to school, as we're doing our daily things, is it efficient the way we're treating our body? Are we doing things in an efficient manner? So how are we coming across to the world? How are we taking care of ourselves? So as this moon moves into Capricorn, we also may be more focused on financial matters, production, and are we doing things in a way that is of our best and highest good in those areas? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you what came across. Our first card actually is the springtime card, and I'm going to read a little bit of this to you as I show you the card. So this is the card. When spring arrives, our eyes lift from the work and we peer out the window of our laboratory. We realize Earth has been on its own transformational spin, readying itself for a new era of growth. In a state of wonder, the alchemist sets aside the work of winter and opens the door, stepping into spring. When this card arrives, it indicates a blossoming, a coming into one's own. It's generation time. You may be dreaming up of a business plan, humming a new melody, or flirting with a special someone. Spring is the season of the East, where the sun rises and lights the world. You do not have to work on anything during this phase. Let the energy of the season push through. You made it through winter, and the bubbles burst on their own. So, of course, this very much resonates with where we're at now. So, we are in the midst of spring. The blossoms are blossoming just everywhere. You can see just beauty sprouting. I mean, everything's green around me here. And so I invite you to look at the spring in your life and look where it's calling you. Look where you're being shown to flow, almost like compelled to move. Not as a pressure, but almost as a grace, a flow. Okay, so again, the spring card. And the second card we received is autonomy. And this is the wolf. The wolf. In medieval times, autonomy became known as the gray wolf of alchemy. This was due to the unpredictable qualities and its ability to eat away at other materials in the laboratory. Gold is one of the few materials to withstand contact with it. For these reasons, this card must be read with delicacy. On one hand, it represents the wild, free spirit that longs to express itself in the world. On the other hand, it represents a fierceness that can turn destructive or corrosive at the drop of a hat. The message here is clear. Channel the gray wolf's energy toward creativity. Challenge it to come out of the shadows and express itself. Embark on a creative project or adventure that is calling you, rather than focusing on why you can't. Once you begin, don't quit. The gray wolf responds to respect, not repression. And this is to use corrosion as medicine. And then the book, I don't know if you guys have read it, it's called Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. And I read that when I was 16, a long time ago. And I could definitely read it again. It's about different aspects of the female psyche, of different ways that we get caught up in cycles and how to set ourselves free. And it has all these different scenarios, but set ourselves free from those stereotypes or those patterns. And there's a lot more in depth to it, but it's a lot about awakening that wild aspect, but still keeping it in a balanced alignment with our highest good. And let's see. Like many of the alchemical cards, the gray wolf can most easily be felt through the laboratory of the human body. Dance, run, shake, breathe. And of course, even, in exercise, we feel that synergy, that new life flowing through us, breaking things up in our body, and in a good way. I'm thinking cellular breakdown. So it's like releasing toxins, fats, things that, are holding energy that we may not need to hold on to. So doing that and allowing that to flow and be released. And that's a beautiful picture of the wolf. And then the last card is Copper. And this, of course, relates to Venus on the Tree of Life. And the Sephiroth Netzach. So this is copper. In ancient times, on an island called Cyprus, copper was mined extensively to make vessels and tools. This island is the same fertile ground of Aphrodite, the goddess associated with the planet Venus, and the forces of love, pleasure, and fertility. Such is the magic of copper. This golden-hued metal elects delight and mystique, even a sense of awe. The copper card marks the arrival of Eros into the laboratory. It is likely the alchemist has been hard at work for too long, prioritizing scholarly pursuits over sensual pleasure. Get ready for a shift of priorities, for an awakening of the heart and the life-generating centers of the body. In the true alchemical experiment, nothing is excluded or separate from the work. Bring sensuality to the fold and embrace it with reverence and curiosity. Aphrodite smiles upon you. And then the go deeper, it says, visit or learn about the Statue of Liberty, the largest copper sculpture in the world. It also says to ponder, chocolate contains copper. Esoteric wisdom traditions. In esoteric wisdom traditions, Venus and copper are associated with the kidneys. A letting go is likely required in order to embrace Eros with open arms. And let's see, what else does it say? Though bright and warm, when polished, copper quickly oxidates, turning green or blue. Discern if a metaphorical polishing up is in order. Do we need to shine ourselves up? So, as you can see, this is a very sensual, bright, shiny metal. Yes, and like I said in the beginning, copper relates to the planet Venus and that idea of moving with your senses, moving and just really feeling into that tangible, sensual side of life. And maybe that's just like moving with yourself, doing a dance, but really allowing yourself to flow a little bit more free. And I think that's really interesting with the wolf, the gray wolf autonomy. Is there something we need to break up in our world to allow that to flow through? That's something that spring is calling forward in our life. That's being breaking up the old and allowing a new you to shine through, a new aspect of you to shine through, through your more Venusian presence. So these are the cards for this week after we came through that intense Scorpio full moon. Now we're in Sagittarius, soon to be in Capricorn, and we're moving towards that new moon coming up in the next week or so. There's a lot going on. Obviously, there always is. It's just the aspects that change and shift as the seasons. So I'm sending you so much love. And if you did stay till the end, thank you. I know it was a longer reading. Whenever I talk about the tree of life, it seems to just expand. So sending you so much love and blessings. If you'd like to book a zodiacal reading or an oracle or a tarot reading, or maybe an guided meditation on the astral plane, please feel free to reach out. Sending you lots of blessings as we move through this next phase and cycle. We're actually in the waning part of the moon now, so we are releasing and letting go. All right, with grace and ease. Much love.